Hi and welcome, this is Marianne Nims. This is BAZ NUCLEUS with the nucleus pattern on the side panels. It has been inserted with crystals on both sides. The two panels are actually carrying each 77 crystals on each side. My design started as being a candle holder, then after growing with this beautiful object, I ended up by giving it a lot of attributes and applications. So I started with just having two side panels and a candle in the center. The first generation was actually much different than this one. It had a lot of bolts and threaded rods, but I ended up by simplifying the design and the make of it to make it more contemporary. And the idea was to provide a special object, a unique design, and something that you can look at without interfering with the space around it. So fluidity, transparency, reflection is really what makes this object extremely valuable and different from anything else you've ever seen. Now also what I've created, and I want to show you this here beside the candle. This here are the three special pieces that make this sculpture very unique. This is my invention. So I invented this three-piece element which interlock together to create a belt around the candle holder or the little tray that I've showed you. So here's how it works. I hope you can see this. So in the center is where you are going to place up top the two connectors that connect the two sides together. Your object could be a crystal figurine, actually would be very nice, because since the nucleus pattern is genuine, so it could be placed upward or downward, it will change the application to it. So let me show you. So this is the nucleus with the crystals, and if you were to flip it, so you go with your Allen key inside the cap and then you tighten the hole. Now we have the connectors looking upward, so I am able to go and fit the center connection on top. So the center assembly is actually what creates a belt around the little tray here, which I am going to place right up top the connector. So now what we have is really a strong hold, and it works with gravity. One thing is very important, that BAZ works like a clock. You know, there are many elements that work together to bring out something beautiful to the world, and this is how this sculpture is made for, and that's the philosophy behind it. Many elements can, when they work together on a tight hold, they can bring something magnificent. That's the philosophy, and you know, with a lot of lightness. So the philosophy of this beautiful object basically is that we can enhance it as much as we want. We mirror polish it, we insert crystals, we create perforations. I mean, you know, the idea here is to make this sculpture personalized, and that is the key. I've created a new design, a new object, a new way of displaying an object. So it's more like a sculpture, a useful art basically, and a collectible item. And you can, as much personally, you can engrave it, you can change the color of the crystals, and I will come up with multiple ideas and design on how to apply them onto the sculpture and how to personalize your own. And I'm an artist, so which means that there's no limit to how much I can create with this. It's like giving me a canvas, a blank canvas, and say, draw. You can give me 10 colors and I can apply the 10 colors together in multiple applications, and again and again and again. And that's exactly what BAZ is. The name BAZ comes from the word base in French, B-A-S-E, which is a base basically. So this is a base, but it's not any base. It's Marianne Nims base. This is high polished, and it reflects. When metal is high polished, it reflects everything around it. It becomes like a mirror basically. When you add the crystals, it creates sparkle around it. So reflection, sparkle, fluidity, and also it works with gravity. So BAZ works, you've got multiple elements in BAZ. So we've got the two connectors, you've got three elements to create that assembly. Two side panels. One has crystals, the other one doesn't. This is high polished, this is high polished. The side panels will always come polished. always will come high polished, because this is essential to the sculpture, is to reflect. And the center elements actually do not have to be polished. And this is a very important detail. When I created this assembly, I designed it, I gave the measurements very precisely for it to click and interlock together. Okay, so once you polish it, you remove that exact measurement, because you're going to take out a little bit of the material when you're polishing it. So you take out about 1 millimeter, I would say, all around. And that millimeter is crucial. So you don't have that tight interlocking system anymore. You've got something that is a little bit less. The highly polished, it wails. Okay, so you've got like 1 millimeter that would take it off from the edge. BAZ is an object. BAZ is an art object made to create an atmosphere around it. It is not made to provide an attribution such as a spoon or a fork or a plate or a vase. You've got beautiful objects out there, like a vase or anything, any display you've got. But this here is a useful art, so you can play with it. It's like Lego blocks, but also at the same time, you want to look at it. You want to appreciate the way it's made, the craftsmanship around it, the design, the material itself, and what it can provide. So if you were to use it as a candle holder, for example, such as this one here, you know, you'll always have your candle being glorified, right? If you were to use it as a decorative object, so now you've got all the crystals around, right? If you were to use it as a bijou, such as this one here, it's 24 karat gold, then you want to display it, you don't want to touch it. So many things. So I wanted to show you a little bit of how they work together, the difference between each, and these are the 3 of them. I'm going to put this back on my counter and take them one by one. This is the highly mirror polished. So the highly mirror polish will carry a mirror polish aspect all over 360 degrees, and every element out of it, all the 8 of them, are highly polished, which will give you a reflection all over, whether it's light and daylight object around. So it will disappear within the atmosphere basically and the surrounding. When you light it though, 2 things will happen. One, it will reflect on the inside. So because it will reflect, it will multiply the light. So 1 wick is enough. On the other side, it will reflect the surrounding, and it will create a contrast from the light coming through and from the inside and the light coming from the outside, and will illuminate the perforations. So the perforations will keep multiplying, create the 3-dimensional effect. So the 3-dimensional effect is made because of the separation in between the 2 side panels. So because they carry the same size and they are parallel, when you look at them from far, they not only are reflecting each other because of the mirror polish, but also they identify each other with a shadowing, creating a 3D effect because it's multiplied by 2, and the distance in between the 2 would create that effect. So this is pretty cool. And it will create the same effect with the shadowing, with the light, with the reflection. So it is dynamic. This is a dynamic object that will carry on its reflections and the shadowing wherever you take it with you. And it's light. It's about 2.5 pounds, and because it's assembled, you can always put it in your purse, take it with you wherever you go. So this is the less polished. The less polished will always have the side panels highly polished, like every other BAZ that you will find in the world, because that is elementary for me. So the reflection is part of the sculpture and is part of the characteristic of BAZ. Also, BAZ is made out of 8 elements, right? So the side panels are 2, and the candle holder or the tray is 3. Those 3 elements will always be polished on the outside. And since the side panels are exposed on all edges, on all sides, they will always be highly polished. The candle tray, though, will always be highly polished on the outside, and on the inside will be satin. Now, in the less polished, you will see on the inside a little bit of the welding marks. And I felt it would be interesting to keep them there just because it's part of the characteristic of BAZ. That is the less polished. So the less polished, I'm going to show you without the candle this time. I'm going to carry it closer to you, to the camera, so you can see. So highly polished on the outside. The two center connectors are not polished. And these are the three elements. So I have used a mirror polished on the outside, satin on the other side material. It's expensive, and it's actually giving me what I really wanted for the sculpture is the contrast and the constant reflection. So by using a highly mirror polish on one side, and it comes like that, so you don't have, you will never find a double-sided mirror polished. It's only one side mirror polished. So I used the most expensive material. I wanted to have something in connection with the final result. So it's important as a designer and as an artist to work with the material that really inspire you. So the material that inspired me here is this material. And the more I was working with it, the more I was finding my ways into bringing BAZ to the final aspect to it. So the final aspect really is unlimited, and that I realized this while I was designing it. And the creations that I was able to come up with throughout the growth of the design itself was amazing. I think that this object here is my sole inspiration when it comes to design, because of all the alternatives and the options that it offers to me as a creator. I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any questions, please email me. And if you want me to give you a call, you can leave your number and I will be very happy to contact you and to answer all of your questions. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. Enjoy your BAZ, and please contact me with any questions you have. Thank you and happy holidays.